Hey, what's up, guys? This is my new Vivid. I just received it today. As you can see, it's still on gingerbread. I know the camera's kind of sucking right now. There we go. But as you can see, it's still on gingerbread. It is still locked with the bootloader. It's still locked. It has not been touched. So we'll go through the whole process of unlocking the bootloader, relocking the bootloader, installing the ROMs, the recovery, and of course the new Hboot update. And I'll show you the best I can, step by step, to make this thing work. I know a lot of y'all guys are breaking y'all's phones. Maybe this will minimize that. So this is part one. I'm just kind of showing you the phone as it is in gingerbread. It's brand new. So give me a second and I'll have all the steps up and ready for you. Okay. So we're at Wildchild's website. And there it is. You'll need to click, one of these links. Make sure you pick the one that you want. I personally went with the generic build. I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to re-download it. But everything that you need is in this file right there. Or, any of these files. Wildchild has made sure to pack everything in all his links in the one zip file, so you're not going to need too much more, So first thing you need to do is go ahead and download the ROM. Make sure it has the update, the Hboot update, and we'll go from there after it's downloaded. And I'll show you what to pull out of it and what to put on your SD card and where to put it on your SD card. And we'll watch the phone do what it does, while it's doing it. So here we go. Okay, once you have your file downloaded, there it is right there. You'll just double click it, go into the Hboot zip, and then just grab your file and put it over here to the root of your SD card. There's the root of my SD card. That's all I do right there. I don't add my ROM over here or nothing like that. I just simply put my PH image on my SD card, and I will put my ROM and my everything else on the internal SD card. So that way, when I do the Hboot update, I can just slide my SD card out and do it that way instead of having to erase it or whatever. I'll show you how to do it, but anyway. So what we'll do here, there's the root of my SD card. It has the PH image on it. We'll close that out. I'm sure most of y'all know what's going on here. Okay, here is where my fast boot commands are. Okay, this is where. Oops. This is where you'll do. You'll put your boot and your Wildchild's recovery. You'll put those two inside. It's gonna ask you some bull crap. There you go. So we put the boot image and the Wildchild's recovery on the where your fast boot commands and everything are. So after you do that, what you'll need to do is this is what I do is I'll minimize that. Here's the ROM folder. Back down. Generic right there. Okay. This is what I'll be putting on the internal card on my HTC Vivid. So I'll go back down here and I'll open this back up and I'll go to the internal storage, and this is where I'll put this. And this is going to take a second. I mean, it's pretty big file, almost half a gigabyte. So once you have this part set up, you have your boot images where your fast boot goes, your recovery where your fast boot's at. Once you have this part taken care of, I mean, you're almost set up. You got your Hboot on your SD card and your ROM zip on your internal card. So once this is taken care of, we'll go and go to hccdev.com. We'll get the unlock token, but we will not unlock the phone yet. We will run the Hboot update first and let it complete. Then we will unlock the bootloader to flash the new boot image and the new recovery. So when this is up, I will turn the camera back on, show you what's going on, and show you what's up with the unlocking the bootloader getting the unlock token, excuse me, for your phone. So I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what's going on with the unlocking of the bootloader and all that back when we were doing the gingerbread ROMs and all that good stuff. So like I said, just bear with me. This is how it's done. This is how I do it. I've never had no problems with bricking any of my phones or anything like that. So, like I said, it's going to be a minute. Okay, guys. So what we'll need to do is remove your SD card. Okay? So that way, when you boot into Hboot, you're not, trying to update your Hboot before, you can get your unlock token. I prefer to get my unlock token first. That way, if I have any problems, I have my unlock token with me, and I'm not kind of in a bind. So what you need to do is you'll go into fast boot, make sure you plug your phone up, and it should say fast boot USB. And what you'll do is you'll follow the steps over here on HTC Dev. And just basically follow it step by step. I already have all this taken care of, and so I'll be, moving on. Just follow it step by step. Don't miss any steps, and you should be good. So we'll proceed. All right, this is what we'll need to do. It's telling me to open up my command prompt. Okay, here it is. It's telling me to use fast boot identifier. Don't take the damn period. Don't take the period with it. Copy. This is how I do it. Okay, so then I'll just go right up here and make sure this is set up to where your fast boot commands are, and you basically just paste and press enter. There you go. It gave you all this stuff right here. This is what you'll need. These right here. You don't want to do all the copy all this or all this crap. This basically tells you what you need to do. You keep going down. See, it tells you to copy in this part. So basically what I'll do is go ahead and copy that. Just like this. Come on. Looks like I'm having a problem copying it. Okay. So now that I have that taken care of and got it copied, it's going to tell you to do this. Blah, 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 blah. this is where you'll enter your device. There it is. Submit. Token submitted successfully. So you'll go back to your email and get your unlock key as a file attachment, and you'll need that, and you'll put it. I'll show you where to put it. So hang on one second. Okay, after you got your unlock code, there it is right there. Minimize this. This unlock code will need to go to where your fast boot commands are. So mine's right here. There you go. And just basically slide it in there. You know, this is where your fast boot commands are. Your unlock code will need to be in there. So once you have that, you are basically set up to go ahead and to start your Hboot update. So I have my unlock token on there, on where my fast boot's at. I also have my boot image and my WCX recovery on my on my fast boot command, where my fast boot commands are. I also have my ROM, the whole ROM zip on the internal SD card. So that way, you know, when I put my SD card in there, the SD card is basically going to be used just to flash the Hboot update. That's it. Once the Hboot update is finished, I will remove my SD card, and then I will proceed to unlock the bootloader and flash the new recovery and the new boot image. Then we'll after that we'll, you know, flash the ROM and have it up and running. So give me a second. I'm going to power this thing down, slide in the SD card, and we will move on. You know, I'll turn it back on and we'll move on from there. Okay, so here's the phone. It's not been turned back on. I do have my SD card installed. So we'll boot into the Hboot, and it should should automatically start doing its little deal. You know, make sure your battery's fully charged. And here we go. This is very important that you do not touch your phone. Do not remove your battery. Do not do anything while it's doing its deal here. I try not to even touch the phone. That way, you know, nothing happens. And here we go. It's going to start doing its deal. It's going to say, do you want to start your update? This is pretty much everything that it's going to do to your phone. And basically, we'll go ahead and press volume up to get it started. And it's going to do a couple things here. It's only going to do about half of what it needs to do. And then the phone's going to turn off. There we go. Sometimes some people say the phone reboots by itself. Some people say you have to turn it back on. I personally, with both of my phones that I've done, I personally have to turn it back on. So what you'll do after it shuts off, you know it's off, you'll boot right back into the Hboot. There we go. Let it do its deal. Don't touch nothing after it's come back up. It's gonna load your PH image back, and it'll finish doing what it started. So just, you know, bear with it. It does take a little bit of time. So you know, see, there it goes. It's doing its second part of it. And once this is done, you will have the new Hboot. But like I said, do not touch your phone. Let it do its deal twice. This is a video, you know, basically showing you what to do. We've heard several stories about guys bricking their phone because they don't understand that this is a two-part deal. So this video should help a lot of new guys or girls, you know, with doing what they need to do to get their phone on ice cream sandwich. And this is almost done. Okay, it says update complete. Okay, this is where I will remove my SD card. So I'm gonna press power to reboot. I'm gonna flip it over. I pull my battery, pull my SD card out. Okay, I have my SD card out. It has my PH image on there. So now when I boot back into Hboot, it will not pick that PH image back up. That way we can start doing, you know, flashing the boot recovery or flashing the recovery and the, you know, basically getting ice cream sandwich on your phone. So pretty much pay attention to what's going on. Okay, what you'll need to do is you'll need to boot back into Fastboot or Hboot, excuse me. Okay, you'll click Fastboot again. Make sure you, and then it'll say Fastboot up there. Connect your cable. Fastboot USB. Okay, so this, you know, this part right here, that's the reason I left my bootloader unlocked, because I needed to flash the new Hboot. Now we will go ahead and we will unlock this phone and flash the new boot image and the new recovery. So what you'll do is you'll go back to your command prompt. Now that you already have it open, okay, well, it's just taking a second. Okay, we'll just bear with me 1 second. Okay, once you're back in, Fastboot or whatever, you go back to your CM prompt. Fastboot, flash, unlock token, unlock code, bin. I'm gonna hit that. It should say unlock token, check successfully, finished. Then you'll go back to your phone, it'll say this, unlock bootloader, blah, 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 blah. So I'm gonna click yes. We're gonna make sure the green dot's on yes, and we'll press the power button. Sometimes this takes a second, so don't freak out. It should turn power off. Boot back into 8. Oh, I don't want it to do that. If it's gonna restart, it's probably gonna restart like mine just did. Pull the battery. Okay, boot back into Hboot. You can't have your SD card. I mean your can't have your cord plugged up when you boot into Hboot. Bam, there we go. It's unlocked. This is where we'll go back into Fastboot. Say Fastboot. We'll plug it back up. I could say USB. Fastboot USB. Once we have that, this is where we'll start to flash the ROM and the boot image and the new recovery that we need. First thing I usually flash is the recovery. Since we did all the preempted steps that we took before we got to this point, it should be pretty easy. Go back to your command prompt. Okay, like I said, it's unlocked now. Fast boot USB. What I usually do to make sure I have everything right, I go back to Wildchild's initial instructions. This is what we need to do right here. Okay, the first thing we'll flash. Usually I flash the recovery first. I don't know if it matters. That's just what I do. So we'll copy exactly what he has right there. Note, this is just for Wildchild recovery. If you have a different recovery, it will be different. So go back to your command prompt. Okay. You'll go to paste, and it's sending the recovery. Remember, like I said, we pre-did a lot of stuff before we even started doing anything. This is why I like to have everything set up. This is very important. You have to have everything set up. Okay, it says writing recovery. Everything's okay. It finished. Everything's good. Now you'll fast boot flash the boot image. Go back. Sending boot. Okay, writing boot. Everything's good in gravy. You are now good to go as far as this goes. You'll go back to your phone. You'll go ahead and from here you'll click where it says bootloader. You'll press the power button. You'll go down until it says recovery. Press the power button again. Okay, here is Wildchild's recovery. It's pretty badass. I like it a lot. So what we need to do is wipe the cache. Wipe the Davit cache. Okay. And I usually just do the all data factory reset. Some people do, some people don't. I'm not going to. Okay. This is where you'll go to the flash zip menu. You'll choose a zip from internal SD card. Remember, we put the ROM on the internal SD card. So you go down to the bottom. There we go. We'll see Wildchild Sense generic ROM. We'll click that. It'll say down here, do you want to install blah 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 blah. Press power to confirm. And there we go. We have Wildchild's ROM flashing. I really hope this helps a lot of people out. I know, bricking your phone is no fun. I have been lucky and not bricked a phone yet. So hopefully this helps you out. I'm sure once all this gets set up, there's a little bar there. I don't know if you can really see it. And it's building up. And it'll do its deal. And once it's finished and brought back up, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll show you Wildchild's generic ROM. Just a little preview. Not too much detail, just kind of showing you that the ROM is flashed and everything is good. Okay, once it says install from internal SD card complete, you are done. There's no need to relock your bootloader. I don't, so you don't really have to. So we'll go ahead and return. We'll go ahead and reboot system now. And this baby should fire up with no problems. Get that hair out there. If you don't like the video quality, I can't help you there. I'm filming it with another Vivid, so take it out on HTC if you don't like it. So here we go. It's booting up for the first time. There's the Beats logo. This usually takes a minute. And this is the first time it boots up. Wildchild recommends that you reboot your phone at least 3 times to set everything in. I have been known not to do that, but I usually do reboot it at least once. After I get everything set up, I will reboot it, and usually that works fine for me. I usually never have no problems. You know, like I said, Wildchild recommends you reboot 3 times. You know, follow that to a T if you feel like you need to. You know, like I said, this is how I do it. And as you can see, I did not brick my phone. So, and my SD card is still not in my phone. I have to erase that PH image off there before I put my SD card back in. I usually erase that PH image off, so that way I don't have a problem with if I have to go back in Hboot at any time. I don't have a problem with that. So basically, you know, your ROM's booting up for the first time. It does take a while. Do not freak out. You know, it always takes a while to do this. So, like I said, I'll give you a small preview of the generic build. I have not previewed it myself before, so we will check it out and see what's up with it. Okay, you know, I did the little menu deal. I asked you to put in all your crap. Some people usually skip right through it. I don't. I'd like to put in some of the stuff. And here we go. So, obviously Wi-Fi is working. I am connected to Wi-Fi. Some people are having problems with their Wi-Fi. As Wildchild says, there is nothing wrong with Wi-Fi in none of his builds. So, as you can see, we are on ice cream sandwich. And I really like the ice cream sandwich, especially what Wildchild does to it. It's amazing. So, you know, basically there it is. We'll check out the app list. And you can see, you know, Wildchild, he pretty much debloats it. Don't have none of that stupid crap on there that you don't use. You know, I don't ever use the AT&T stuff. I don't think anybody ever uses the AT&T stuff. As you can see, I do have Super User installed, so I am rooted. So there we go. That's how you do it. Remember, just have any questions, read the forums. I mean, that's the main thing. You've got to read the forums. If you have a question, do not assume anything. If you know, a lot of people are asking questions, you know, how do you do this and how do you do that? You know, a lot of the answers have already been answered at least twice. So if you just read some more, you know, if you do not find your answer after reading for a while, you know, then I suggest asking a question. Wildchild has no problem with helping you, as do some of the other members that know, you know, what's going on. So, like I said, there you go. That's how you do it.